Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a June roundup and a July TBR video, and in this TBR video I'm actually going to be doing two readathons, which kind of seems a bit ambitious considering I wasn't able to read that many books last month. Last month I read, well, I mean technically 3 books, but it was 2 books and then 2 half books. And of course the dog starts barking just as I start filming. But yeah, so it seems a bit ambitious. How? However, one thing you need to know is that last month I actually dealt with a lot health-wise. You've been hearing about my health if you've been watching my previous videos. So we've been getting on top of that. However, I was also hit with COVID. So if things could not get worse, just a slight recap, low B12 vitamin, so that I had to get a shot, severely low iron that wasn't picked up on, as in deficient is 30, I had 8, and then I also got diagnosed with gestational diabetes, so my sugar levels were all over the place, so I had to figure that out. So I've been working on all of that, and then bam, I got hit with COVID. So I was literally couldn't get out of bed for like 2-3 days, like low energy. It was bad. However, as you can possibly tell from my chirpiness, I am feeling a lot better. Dog's barking again. She does that a lot. It's my mom's dog and she likes to talk about everything. Maybe you have a dog that's the same. And she's not even a small dog, she's a collie. So in my experience, and I actually worked at a collie rescue or volunteered, and as you might know if you've been following me for a while, actually I have a vlog from last year where we brought Moss over to the UK to his new family, so that was lovely, and it was actually during Summerween, so it was literally a year ago. But yeah, worked at collie rescue, and in my opinion or my experience, collies don't tend to be that loud of dogs, but this one is. This one is, let me tell you. We got her at 8 weeks old. She is a rescue from the rescue centre. But she was picked up at 8 weeks old. And yeah, she just got louder and louder ever since. So she likes to talk a lot. Where was I? Yes, I'm feeling better. I am back on track. And I'm hoping to read a lot more books. Okay, Lola is also here. And she is wanting to be a part of the video as usual. So I'm hoping to get a lot more reading done, and in fact we are on day 2 and I've already finished 1 book and I'm on my 2nd book of the month. So I'm already feeling better, I'm already excited, so let's get into the video. So let's talk about the 2 books that I finished in June. And that first one is Ruthless, Vows by Rebecca Ross. I've already talked about this book a couple of times and you will already know it was a 5-star read for me. It's 5-star series. Divine Rivals was one of the best books I've read, not only this year but in general. The writing is just fantastic. It just sucked me in. Couldn't stop reading it. Like genuinely had to tell myself, no, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, you need to go to sleep. And yeah, I'm really sad not to be part of that world anymore. I'm obviously not going to tell you what happens in Ruthless Vows because that would just be mean. So I'm going to tell you kind of the basic story of Divine Rivals if you haven't heard of it or read it already. It's based around 2 characters, which would be Iris and Roman. They are rivals, as the name suggests, in a publishing house or newspaper. They're journalists and they're competing for this one job, and at this time there's war going on between gods, and Iris's brother has gone out to fight in the war, so she's worried about him, but she has stayed at home to take care of her mother, to take care of life outside of the war. So yeah, that's where we start. She meets Roman at work, they are competing, we start to see a bit of Roman's life as well. It's dual POV, so we get to see kind of how he has been brought up and the trials that he's experiencing too, and it just goes from there. But when I tell you that this book just took a piece of me, like I just couldn't let it go. This book is actually very reminiscent of war, so World War One, World War Two, Civil Wars, things like that. If someone had told me that, I would not have read the book, actually, because I do not enjoy war content. So books, movies, shows, things like that. As I assume many people do, I have many opinions on war, and I do not enjoy it, as I assume most people don't, but as in, I do not enjoy that content because I feel like I'm too sensitive for it. I feel like I think about it for too long, and then it upsets me, and it puts me in a slump or a place in my mind that I just don't enjoy, so I tend to stay away from it. However, I'm glad no one told me this, because I would have missed out on one of the best books or duologies of the year, and I am so glad that I didn't get to miss out on that. I highly recommend it. And also, this is what I would class as magical realism, not fantasy. It is classed as YA fantasy. However, I don't, even though there's a lot of, we'll say, magical elements in it, the world is so like ours that I don't know if I would really class it as just like fantasy. It's not enough fantasy for me. It's too close to our world that I see it as magical realism. So our world with magical elements, and back in like the 1900s, you know, around war times and things like that. The next book I want to talk about is Summer at the Kindness Cafe by Victoria Walters. I did do a small review on Instagram as well. I've decided that I'm going to start doing kind of mini reviews on Instagram of the different books that I read. So if you want to kind of see them in more real time and things like that, instead of just a wrap up, you can also keep posted on there. I've also decided to do mini reading vlogs over there as well, because as much as I enjoy, which I do enjoy doing reading vlogs over here, they do take a longer time. I don't have the time or the kind of capacity to do more than one a week. So I want to do mini reading vlogs for the books that are outside of that week, we'll say. That way I can just kind of talk to you about books and what I'm doing and what did you think of them, and I just love that. So if you want to check that out and be a part of that, I would love to chat to you about books over there. But anyway, back to this one. So you might have heard of this one already. Did I do it in a different vlog or wrap up? I'm not sure. But this is Summer at the Kindness Cafe by Victoria Walters. This is the first book I have read of hers, even though I do believe I own at least one, if not two, of her other books. I have to double check that. And I really enjoyed this book. So this book circles around three ladies who have come to Littlewood. Two of them are sisters. One of them has lived in Littlewood for a while. Her sister has come to join her from London. They both grew up in Cornwall. And then this other lady has moved over from Hungary with her daughter to fulfill her dying husband's wish. He has passed by the time she has come to the UK. And it's very interesting. It all kind of like centers around this cafe. And that's where they meet. And in this cafe, there's a kindness board. So on the board, everyone is encouraged to put up a little message of thank you for anyone who has done any kind of acts of service or kindness towards you. So this would encourage people then to pay it forward or to do more acts of kindness, because they can see it all on the board. And yeah, I just like the idea of it, the concept of it, and you can see how these acts of kindness impact these ladies' lives. And you also get to know their history of how they got to the point of where they are when we meet them in the book and where they go from there. It's a very enjoyable read. They all have very different stories. It is circled all kind of around love, in some way, shape or form, but it's not, I wouldn't say a romance book. It's more women's fiction or just literary fiction with romance kind of sprinkled in there as well. Okay, let's talk about TBR. So I'm just going to explain a little bit in the beginning. I am not doing TBR games for the moment because I'm in a place in my life where I want to really enjoy my books and anticipate my books, because I have spent so long where I couldn't read due to illness and different things like that, just because I didn't have the brain power, the capacity to do so. And now that I'm back into it, I'm enjoying it so much. I really want to hit some of my reading goals and read some of my anticipated books and keep this train going. I've had a good couple of months. In the last couple of months, I've hit 3 5 stars. and at least one, if not 2.5 stars, and a life-changing book, which is very personal. It is The Practical Ways to Make Your Birth Better by Siobhan Miller, and that is for me because I am 7 months pregnant currently. But my point is, I have been having some really, really good reads, and I want to keep that train going. And as much as I love doing TBR games, I don't necessarily always love the books that are chosen for me, and I don't want anything to put me in a slump or anything like that. I'm at a point where I'm at 30 weeks pregnant currently, so I'm enjoying my reading, and I've also got so much other things going on as well that I don't want to be like forcing myself to read anything I don't want to read, and I want to use this time to relax and enjoy before my life gets a little bit more crazy with a baby on the way. So let's talk about the TBR. Also, I have a couple of things within my TBR. Yes, Lola wants to say hi. One, I want to kind of split it between my Kindle library, which is huge, and my physical library, which is also kind of huge. Because even though I didn't read as much, it didn't mean I didn't stop buying books. Because, you know, they say that there's two types of hobbies. One is buying books, the other is reading books, and I believe that that's true. Even if you can't read books, I still want to buy them. So my TBR is kind of off the charts at this point. Not sure where I am. If you told me my TBR was like over 300, I'd believe you. So I want to hit both sides. Plus, I really enjoy reading on my Kindle as well. So whatever I read, I'm going to hit like half Kindle, half physical, if possible, which is what I want. And the other stipulation is I don't want to get overwhelmed. So I don't want to put on like 30 books like I used to in the past, when I used to think I had all this time and that I was so healthy. I know better now, and I want to spend more time not only reading the books but enjoying the books that I read. So I'm talking about, like, you know, creating content around it or speaking to you guys about it. And I don't have time to do that if I'm reading so many books that I don't have time to talk about the books I've actually read and enjoyed and get to share that with you and enjoy it with you. This means that this month is actually going to be a few more books than I would normally do, because I am doing 2 readathons. However, I fit the readathons around the books that I wanted to read. So for Summerween, obviously I'm going to add in a couple more books, but I didn't want to miss out on Summerween. And then I added like 4 books extra after that, and then I found the Magical Hopathon with Rachel, and I decided that if I could fit the prompts around the books I had chosen, then I would go ahead with that as well. So there you have it. Let's go into the TBR. So let's talk about Summerween first. Summerween is a readathon I started last year. Really enjoyed it. Of course, I want to do it again this year. So the prompts are, I'm going to look here because I have it written down kind of beside me. One is read a book with a night sky in it. For this, I'm going to read The Hex Appeal, and I'm really looking forward to this. So for me, I know Summerween for some people is horrors and thrillers, and that's absolutely perfect if that's you, but I'm a scaredy cat, and I think of Summerween as being like Halloween for me, and if Halloween for me is like spooky, magical, witchy, supernatural, all that kind of stuff. So the Hex Appeal is perfect for me. I'm hoping that it's going to give me the same feels or vibes as the X-Hex, because that was one of my favorite books of last year, and I read that during Summerween. So I'm really hoping that happens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it anyway. So the next one is going to fit 2 prompts, and that is thriller and read at night. I'm not sure if it's to read it all night, every night, but or every time I read it will be nighttime, because then I might use the Hex Appeal for that. Maybe I'll double up on the Hex Appeal actually. So basically I've picked 3 books, there's 5 prompts, and I'm doubling up on 2 of the prompts. So maybe Hex Appeal would be Night Sky, and then to read at night. And then this one would just come under thriller, which is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. And this is a book that's been on my radar since it came out. I'm not going to lie. In fact, I even bought it for my sister for Christmas, because she loves thrillers, horrors, like that's her vibe. So I got this for her because I didn't look at the light, like so I got that vibe for that book for her because she loves that vibe. But honestly, I've been thinking about it a long time too. In fact, now it's gotten to the point that I have the other 3 books. The only book I don't have is actually Devil Must Die. No, 1 second. I actually have a bookmark here. Also take no notice of the mess in the back, please. Bookmark here, The Last Devil to Die. I got this bookmark with I got it in Waterstones. It's one of the books that I got at some point. I actually might just put it in here, to be honest. But yeah, so this is the book. Maybe we'll try this side. Yeah, that's better. So this is the book that I want to do for a thriller. I actually downloaded this from BarBox as well, which is our library. I downloaded the audio version so I can listen to the audio when I am walking the dogs or in the car, and then I can read it when I'm at home because it is chunkier. It is, don't want to get any spoilers, 381 pages. However, if I'm reading and listening to the audio, I feel like I'll get through it a lot quicker. The next book is a book that I'm also excited to read. I've heard about it since it came out, and that is Finlay Donovan is Killing It. And I know that her later books didn't actually get great reviews or hype, but I know that this book did, and I'm excited to read it. I'm going to do it for the prompts for summer vibes. I'm not sure, I just get it by the cover that there could be some summer vibes in this. And the next one is 5 words, so you got to pick a book with 5-word title, and for that Finlay Donovan is Killing It. So yeah, I'm excited about that one too. So there are the 3 books I've picked for Summerween. Next I have, I think it's 5 or 6 more books on Magical Readathon. However, one of them is already read and another one is a audiobook, and I tend to go through them a lot quicker. So technically there's only 4 books on this outside of the Summerween, so it's 7 books in total. I gave myself like that I would read 6 books maybe in a month, so not to overwhelm myself. If I wanted to read more, then I absolutely could. But I didn't want to overwhelm myself with even 8 books or something like that and then feel bad about it, you know. So, for the Magical Readathon, this is a readathon that is centered around Disney World and the Disney parks. There are 4 parks, and one book you read... You can hear Lola. The first book you read is actually your entrance into the park, so your entrance ticket, and that was Read a Book You Can't Stop Thinking About. Now, you could start this from the 16th of June, so you had 2 weeks to read it before the Magical Readathon, which is from the 1st to the 31st of July. It's a whole month, so I will lose a week in between because I will be doing Summerween, but I only have like 4 books outside of that, so I can fit them in the other 3 weeks, so that works out perfectly. So for the book I Can't Stop Thinking About, it was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, and I love this book. Spoiler, you're going to hear about it. I've already done a mini review for Instagram, and also you will be hearing about it in my wrap-up. You'll probably be hearing about it in my favourite books of the year. I freaking love this book. I want to reread it almost immediately and annotate it. The writing's so beautiful. The quotes in it is so, is philosophical the right word? Like, it really makes you think. Like, some of the quotes in it, like, which I find is rare for me, because even though I read a lot of books, I don't generally find a lot of books that really make me stop for a minute and go, oh yeah, that makes me think, you know, it makes me think about what the topic is and how that relates to life, you know. There are 2 reasons I picked this up. One, anytime I heard anyone talk about it, it just sounded like a bit of me, you know. It's like cozy fantasy, whimsical. I mean, I've never watched The Princess Bride, but people compared it to it and I thought, how bad can that be? And the second reason is because I was intimidated by Brandon Sanderson, because I feel like he's a real reader's book author. And I felt intimidated that maybe I wasn't like fantasy enough for reading his books, and I thought this might be a good entryway, you know, and I loved it. It's actually made me so excited to read more from him, because his writing, I just connect with it so much in this book, and I know it was written for his partner, so it's kind of like his love letter to her, I guess, in kind of a way, and I love it. I love it so much. But anyway, I've read this book already. This is my entrance into the Disneyland world, and yeah, that's the first one that was on the list. So the next one is, you can go into any of the parks. So there's like Magical Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and I can't remember the other one, but I'm putting it here, and I decided I'm going to do 2 parks because that way I can fulfill the prompts that for the books that I already have. So the first one is the Magical Kingdom, and the first one is the attraction. So basically you get these cards and you have to pick one attraction to go on within that park, 1 snack and 1 show. Now you can double up with the snack and the show because you can eat a snack while you watch a show, but you can't double up with the attraction because you can really eat while you're on a ride or anything like that. You can't watch a show when you're on a ride. So that's kind of the theory behind that. So the attraction I chose was Winnie the Pooh, a book that feels like a warm hug. Now I chose that for many reasons. I like Winnie the Pooh, but also I'm about to have a baby, so Winnie the Pooh was kind of part of my life right now. I'm picking up little things and it's just so cute. The book that I chose for this was Bookshops and Bonedust by Baldree. This is a book that I already know is going to be like a warm hug. I loved Legends and Latte so much so that I think I even want to reread it again this year. But this one I've already read like a few chapters into it, and then with health issues and pregnancy I ended up softy and effing it. It wasn't because I didn't want to read it, it was just because I didn't have capacity to read anything. I dropped all the books I was reading and now I just want to pick it up and I want to finish the story. For the next prompt I decided to put 2 of them together, which was Dole Whip, which was a YouTuber favourite book, and the show was Festival of Fantasy, which is a colourful book. So for both of these I chose Funny Story by Emily Henry. It is indeed colourful and is definitely a YouTuber favourite. I have started this. I'm actually doing a mini reading vlog on Instagram, so if you want to check that out in the next couple of days, that'll be up there. Like I said, I just want to kind of interact with you guys as I'm reading books, and this didn't make it into a reading vlog, but yes, it was an anticipated read for the year, so I did want to share it, did want to talk about it. And yeah, I'm just doing a mini reading vlog over there. I'm 60 pages in so far, and already I'm enjoying the characters more than I did in Happy Place. Even though I did enjoy Happy Place, I think I gave Happy Place 4-star. Could have been 4.5, but I think thinking back on it, it was 4-star. And I'm actually enjoying the characters in this more, so I'm actually excited to see where this goes and where it takes me. If you don't know already, this book is centered around Daphne and Miles. They were both together with the love of their life. So Daphne was with Peter and they were due to be married soon. And then Miles was with Petra, who he was with for 3 years and who he deemed as the love of his life. Petra and Peter are actually childhood friends, and at Peter's bachelor party, he decides to come home and tell Daphne that he wants to be with Petra, and he leaves her. So she has to start her life over. She doesn't know where to go. She ends up moving in with Miles because, well, now he has the space for a new roommate, and they decide that they're going to pick up the pieces of their life together, I guess. And that's kind of where I am now. So I'm loving the banter in this. And yeah, if you want to see more of a reading vlog, then go over and check it out on Instagram. The next park I've got into is the Animal Kingdom, and that is the Kilimanjaro Safari Ride, read a book featuring the road trip. So I'm actually going to listen to the audiobook, The Road Trip by Beth Leary. I've actually listened to some of this already. I think I'm about halfway through, and I'm really enjoying this book. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going. It is dual POV, which kind of caught me. I'm not sure. I don't know why it did. I've read actually other books, Blackjack. I've read The No-Show. I've read The Switch. And they're all multiple or dual POV. So I don't know why I expected to have just one in this one. But yeah, it kind of caught me off guard at first. But I am really enjoying it. I'm enjoying where the story is going. And yeah, I'll have a review on that too, no doubt. Now, because the first one was actually a audiobook, I have 2 books left, one for a snack and one for a show. Don't actually remember the names of these, so I'm going to put them down here as I talk about them. But the snack is read a book with multiple genres. For this, I have chosen Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Don't know if this actually is multiple genres or not. I know there's fantasy. I feel like there's probably love in it, so maybe romance as well in there. So yeah, I just kind of chose this on a whim, basically, because I wanted to add it into this month's TBR, and I do believe that there is some sort of love in here, and that would make it a romantasy, which would make it 2 genres. So yeah, that is what I chose for my snack. I'm really interested in reading Stephanie Garber because I haven't before, and I really want to read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series as well. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. Finally, my last Kindle book, and that is Going to the Show. And for this prompt, it was to read a TBR vet, and this is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I have many Sarah Adams books, and I have not read any Sarah Adams yet. So currently I own the cheat sheet, the rule book, When in Rome, and Practice Makes Perfect. And you know, I actually could own more, but these are the ones that I am aware of owning right now, and I have never read a Sarah Adams book, so this will be my introduction into her writing and into her mind, we'll say. I know that When in Rome has gotten rave reviews all around, so I am excited to start off with this one. It's been on my TBR for a long time. I would say at least 6 to 8 months at this point, and I'm excited to hit that. So yeah, so there you have it. That is my wrap up and my TBR for the month of July. It's more ambitious than the other TBRs I have set myself in the last couple of months, but however, it's still only 7 books really, if I'm correct. I've already read one of them. I am halfway through, not halfway through, but 60 pages through Funny Story. I have 2 audiobooks on there, and I'm halfway through one of those audiobooks. So considering it's like June 3rd currently, it's not that daunting. Like I said, come over to Instagram and check out what I'm reading over there. I've decided to do a lot more mini reviews, mini reading vlogs, mini hauls, things like that. I've decided to use Instagram a lot more. I'm not sure if I will kind of start incorporating TikTok, but Instagram is my place. So I've decided I'm going to utilize it a lot more, as I don't have as much time in my day, but I can still give you all the content, I can still connect with you over the books that I love or we love. And yeah, I just really want to enjoy that platform a lot more as well, because I love YouTube so much and I will not stop doing YouTube. But it's just, it does take a longer time, especially with vlogs and things like that. And I want to be able to connect with you a lot more than just doing 1 vlog a month. So that being said, if you did like this video, please like and subscribe, as it does help out my channel. And we can connect with more books. I will have the summer read vlog coming up. I will then be having more reviews and wrap-ups and all that good stuff. And I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll also leave the links below to Gabby and Rachel's channels, who are hosting the readathons, and you can check out all the information about them there. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye, friends.